What's up with GoldenEye 007? Well, from the team that brought you Sea of Thieves, Rare takes a break from Everwild to deliver a new game from famous spy Bond, James Bond. The game has been finished for quite some time, but since a lot of the enemy soldiers in the game are Russian, the game was held off for a little bit, and based on the graphics, they've been sitting on this game for a long time. Let's go. The presentation is unique. The menus and such are all arranged like folders and documents on a desk, as if James is going through paperwork, which is reinforced by the sound effects of flipping pages when you navigate around. Sadly, it follows the trope of Destiny-like games with the floating cursor, but it works pretty well here. There are 18 missions, and each of them has a list of objectives that you must complete before you can move on. But something I haven't seen before is that the amount of objectives increases the higher difficulty that you set. But on top of that, you can only play a level based on the difficulty that you beat the previous level. All of the levels are pretty decent length. Some are shorter than others, but the areas can get quite large. Higher difficulty means you'll be exploring more of the area, searching how to complete each objective. Each mission you get a briefing. There's a basic description of the mission, and then M, Q, and Moneypenny will throw in their 2 cents. M lets you know the situation at a top level, like what kind of enemies to expect, a little bit about the mission and how you might want to move forward. Q gives you an overview of your gear, what weapons or gadgets he gave you based on the premise of the mission. And Moneypenny, who really just gives you teasing you about something usually centered on the story itself or just genuinely questioning you. Back to the gadgets. The game isn't really as spy focused as you might think. It's a first-person shooter, so most of the time you'll just be mowing down enemies. Bond has a couple gadgets that you get to use, but it's not really the focus. Plus, to switch to these gadgets, or any other item that isn't a weapon, you'll need to enter the pause menu. You have to highlight the item and then exit back to the gameplay. I've been avoiding the elephant in the room for a little bit. The graphics. Yeah, they look bad. But the gameplay more than makes up for it. The face polygons are borderline flat, no detail whatsoever. The hands have no fingers. It's like a club with some fat finger textures on it. The weapons on the screen are also basic. They're just the barrel of the gun with no moving parts. The reload animations are non-existent. The weapons just leave the screen and then come back on a couple seconds later with a full clip. There's also a very strong aim assist. Like I said before, the gameplay is great. The gameplay is so good that the graphics don't distract from that. I'm just shocked that this is a 2023 game. Anyways, should you play GoldenEye 007? Well, it's the perfect game if you want to count the pixels of your crosshair. If you don't mind slapping your enemies to death. If you want your games with no voiceover. And if you want to see the world's most cramped bathroom. Alright, what's up everyone? If it wasn't totally obvious, this is just a joke. I had the idea to just pretend that this is a modern game that didn't release in the 90s, and April Fools just kind of seemed perfect. I didn't have an N64 growing up, but I played the multiplayer quite a bit at my cousin's. So this is my first time playing through the single player, and it holds up pretty well. Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay safe.